Hey everybody, I'm Ryan, and I'm going to be telling you what it's like to join the military. So I joined the Army April 2012, and I stayed in until September of 2015, so about 3.5 years. So the process of joining the military, it was a lengthy process. You should take some time whenever you're trying to figure this kind of thing out, because it is a big time commitment that you're getting ready to make. I guess I just went kind of down the list with all the branches. I knew that the Marines probably wasn't going to be for me. Coast Guard would have been cool, but I didn't really have any recruiters or anybody I knew close to me that I could really talk to about it. So that left the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. Started talking to the Air Force recruiter, and I found out pretty quickly that it was going to be a little bit of a wait. It was going to be, I think, about a year before I could even start filling out paperwork. So I kind of stopped talking to them. I went and talked to the Navy recruiter, and that guy was really cool. I really enjoyed hanging out with him, and he took me to the entrance processing station that you'll go to sign a contract. But I got more and more, the more and more that I thought about joining the Navy, the more and more I thought about, you know, I really don't want to be on a big aircraft carrier out in the middle of the ocean, not being able to get off. So I kind of stopped talking to the Navy then, and then landed on the Army. I kind of come from a military family. My dad had been in the Army for like 12 years. My aunt had spent like 30 years in the Army. When I brought the idea that I was thinking about joining the Army to my dad and my aunt, although they really loved the Army, when I told them that I was thinking about doing it, they were like, yeah, no shot, you're not doing that. There's no way that's happening. I'm pretty hard-headed, man. I'm stubborn, so I went and did it anyway. Now, I mean, I didn't do that to spite them or anything like that. It just happened like that. I think one of the biggest pieces of advice as far as the process to figure out which branch might be right for you is just to talk to people about it. Seek out those people that you know that are doing it currently, that are in the military right now. Hit them up and talk to them and ask them what their day is like, what their job's like, what their unit is like, what they do on a daily basis when they train, what's everything like, you know. Try to get as much information from them as you can. If you can, try to find the people who have done it for at least a year. That might be better. But just reach out to people and ask them, because you don't know what you don't know. Secondly, you can go just look on the internet. Watch these YouTube videos. There's plenty of videos on there right now about people talking about it. I watched some YouTube videos whenever I was going through the process of figuring out which branch I wanted to do, what job I wanted. Yeah, it's a great big internet out there, so go use that as a resource as well to find out as much as you can before you go talk to a recruiter. And then lastly, you're going to have to talk to a recruiter. You're not going to be able to join the military without them. You can use them as resources. My experience with recruiters, I had really good recruiters when I went through. None of them, I guess, really lied to me or anything like that. But you got to understand what their job really is. You know, it's not in their best interest to talk about the bad days and the bad things about it. They're going to highlight the good things and the cool things about it. Now, I'm not calling any recruiters out. I don't have any beef with recruiters or anything like that. Y'all are cool with me, man. But recruiters aren't lying to you, people. They don't lie to you. They're just not going to tell you some of what the bad things about it are. You know, you're going to get the good side of everything. But definitely go talk to them and get their opinion on it. What I did to get physically and mentally ready, well, I guess I kind of had the luxury. My dad, when he was in the Army, he was a drill sergeant, so amongst other things. But what I used to get him to do before I left, probably a few months before I shipped out to basic training, but just get him, honestly, I was like, just get up in my face like a drill sergeant would, and let me see if I could take it. Now, he would get like right here and just start going in. Usually I would laugh just because it was him, and I was thinking, I'll be all right. As long as it's not my dad, then I'll be fine. But whenever he got in my face and did it, I just busted out laughing. I just kind of, in my mind, just kind of prepared for it to be a lot worse than it was, so that when I got there, it wasn't that big of a deal. Physically, I just started, I mean, I've always been working out, just playing sports growing up, but do a lot of running. Do a lot of running. Go out and run 2 or 3 miles a day if you can, and try to get faster at those 2 or 3 miles every day you can. Do a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, crunches, things like that. You want to have a good, strong core, and you want to be able to run pretty well. So I went to basic training April 24th, 2012. at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, which is right outside the capital city of Columbia. So we actually graduated July 4th, so they kind of made a big thing out of it, did fireworks and everything. Luckily, though, we weren't on the cycle behind us. They were there from July to September, the hottest part of the year. Now, it's pretty hot on us in our cycle, but it was even hotter on them. Fort Jackson's got that nickname, Relaxing Jackson, but I went to Fort Jackson, and I can tell you, it wasn't that relaxing. It really wasn't that big of a vacation. It was still basic training. We lived in this big building. They call them barracks. You have a big open bay style room, and there's like 20-25 bunk beds lined up on either side of the room, and each one of those beds is full. So you'll have a bunk mate, and then you'll have somebody right next to you, of course, on the other side of you. So it gets pretty crowded. You don't really have a whole lot of privacy, and that's kind of the thing that sucks at basic, is you're in this new environment with complete strangers that you've never met before in your life. See some fights, you'll see some arguments go down, and eventually you'll get over it, and you'll all push through, because everybody gets sick too, because you're in such close quarters. Everybody gets some form of the cold. Some people get the flu, different things. You always get sick when you're at basic training. If you're a guy, the way it works is you have to shave every single morning, like with a razor and cream. So that sucks too, because you get razor burn. But you have to go in the bathroom and shave. There's like 200 guys like trying to crowd around one sink at the same time, so it's a mess. You have to go make your bed every morning too, and you have to make it specifically the way they want you to make it, or else it'll get thrown everywhere by the drill sergeant. And that probably takes, all in all, probably about 5 minutes to go get up, shave, get changed, and put your bed the way it needs to be. You rush downstairs, you get into this formation for PT, for your physical training, and then you go do whatever that PT is for that day. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays were usually run days. Tuesdays and Thursdays were kind of a combination between run and like ab circuit days. PT would last for about an hour and a half, go eat breakfast, and then we'd come back and change into their uniform for the day. They give you like 5 seconds to get back in the building and change, and everybody's going at the same time, so you never really have enough time to do what they ask you to do. After breakfast and you get changed, you come back out and you're doing whatever training they've got for you that day. It could be you're going to the firing range, you're going out to the field to do some simulation, all different kinds of things. It's something new just about every day. You get back from that, you'll come and you'll eat dinner, get finished eating, and then you come back outside and you're in formation. So the way that you go into the cafeteria is weird too. You're lined up in a formation and you go one row at a time, and when that one row goes, you grab your tray real quick. You're standing in line with your tray held right in front of you, and you move one step at a time, until you get to the front. And then when you get to the front where they're serving, you basically set your tray down like a robot. They put one scoop on, you move to the side, one scoop, move to the side, one scoop, till you get through the line. You got like 5 minutes to eat that food, because the drill sergeants are walking around and they're talking trash to you the whole time while you're eating. So you're just trying to hurry up and eat as quick as you can so that you can get back out. So you really don't get to enjoy a meal, and that was one thing that I guess I didn't realize how much I was going to miss actually getting to sit down and enjoy a meal when I was at basic. But anyway, you get finished with that and you go back outside and you go wait in formation until everybody's finished. So if you go first in line, then you're probably waiting 30 some odd minutes until that last person that got through is back in formation and ready to go. So until then, you're probably doing push-ups or sit-ups or some kind of exercise, because there's a drill sergeant out there waiting until the last person comes. You get finished with eating dinner, and it depends on what your training day is that day, what you got to do. Sometimes you may go back out to do something else. Sometimes you're doing something like classroom learning at the barracks, but usually after that, people start kind of winding down for bed. But one thing that we used to do would make it quicker for in the mornings, and a lot of people have done this. I've heard all kinds of people talk about this, but you make your bed at night and you sleep on top of the covers, and so it's a little bit quicker for you in the morning. So all you got to do is go shave real quick, get your PT clothes on, and you don't have to make the bed because it's already made. So that might shave off like a minute for you to get downstairs for the morning formation. Usually they didn't say a whole lot about that, but we had an issue, my cycle did, where people would do that, sleep on top of their covers, and we had a certain uniform that we had to sleep in, a PT uniform. The PT uniform is a t-shirt, shorts, socks, shoes, and that's for the summer. The winter uniform is windbreaker pants, a long sleeve t-shirt, a windbreaker jacket, and a toboggan. So what some people were doing were they would sleep on top of their covers, so they wouldn't have to make the bed at night in the morning, and they would sleep in the winter, the pants and the jacket uniform, because it would get a little cool. I didn't. I slept t-shirt and shorts because I run pretty hot. One of the drill sergeants saw that a lot of people were doing that. They were sleeping on top of their covers with their winter PT uniform on, and apparently we were supposed to be sleeping with our summer PTs, whether we were under the covers or not. And he pulled everybody out of the building, so like 200 of us at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we got to do some exercise for a little bit. And basically I think it was like they only have to give you like 4 hours of sleep, and it doesn't have to be consecutive. This was in 2012. I don't know how it is now. But yeah, I think they only had to give you 4 hours of sleep that did not have to be consecutive. So basically, he pulled us out every hour on the hour until it was time to go to PT the next morning. So people learned that night to either sleep under your covers or put the right uniform on. So we had a fun night. We had a fun night that night. Anyway, moving on from basic training, graduated that July 4th, 2012. I'm from North Carolina, just a few hours away from Columbia, so I was fortunate enough to have a good bit of family and friends that were able to come to my graduation. Hung out with them for a couple days, and then I shipped out and went to Arizona. I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona for my advanced individual training, which is just your job school. So the job that I had picked going into the Army was intelligence analyst. I wanted to be in the intel field. And I'll talk a little bit more about what an intel analyst does a little bit later on. But the school that I went to is at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and I was out there for 6 months. I should mention this. The way that basic training works is it goes through 3 different phases. You have red, white, and blue phase. Red phase is like the total control phase. It's when the drill sergeant is just like right here the entire time. I mean, they tell you when to breathe. They have total control over you, and they pretty much tell you every move to make. And it's like that pretty much the whole time through, but they say it gets a little bit lighter as it goes, but it really doesn't. But that's just your phases. Once you get out of red phase, you'll be in white phase, then you'll go to blue phase, and when you finish with blue phase, you'll graduate basic. Now, they try to kind of continue that on to your advanced individual training, your job school, and you're supposed to be, it's either gold or black phase. I can't remember which, or it's vice versa, black and gold. But that first phase out of basic training at my job school, you're still kind of on a little bit of total control. So I dipped tobacco before I went into the Army, and just for anybody that dipped or smoked, honestly, it's not going to be that big of a deal when you're there at basic. I barely even thought about it. You're just so busy that you really just don't even think about it. So I was fine. But anyway, I tried to start dipping again when I was at Fort Huachuca, and we were in the phase where you couldn't have tobacco, like in your room or anything like that. Anyway, I got caught like twice with that, so I got into a little bit of trouble. I had to stay a little bit extra, a couple weeks extra after we graduated, which kind of sucked, but it was on me. But I missed my grandfather, his funeral, because of that, because I actually came home a day after his funeral, and if I would have got in trouble, then I wouldn't have missed it. But so that was on me. But anyway, I got finished with that, and I went back home for like 10 days. They give you a little break before you actually go to where you're going to be stationed. Well, anyway, I hope you like this video. I'm going to be putting up some of these videos like this. Typically, I'm going to be on the other side of the camera, and I'm going to be getting other people's experiences. But I've got some friends of mine, some Navy people, some Air Force people, Marines people. I don't have any Coast Guard people right now. I need to find some. But I'm going to be putting these videos up to try to help any veterans that are just looking for answers. Maybe you're looking to possibly join the military. Maybe you need some advice on how to transition out or how to go back to school or something like that. I'm going to be talking to a lot of different people that can give some advice on this, and hopefully this gets to the right people. Also on this channel, I'm going to be sitting down. I'm going to be talking to small business owners and entrepreneurs and talk to them about their mindset, about what they do, why they get up and do what they do every morning, why did they change careers and start their business. Hopefully give a little bit of insight onto that world, so in case you maybe you want to start your own business, maybe you want to strike out on your own, and you need that last push, a little bit of motivation. Hopefully we can give you some insight and advice with some of these people that I'm going to be interviewing. I got some cool people lined up for it as well on that one. So if you want to hear some more of these stories, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to post these every week. This is a video project that I'm doing for school, so hopefully I'll get these videos up every week. I'm going to work hard to do that. I'm brand new to making videos and editing, so this is going to be a learning experience for the both of us, I guess, especially me. But anyway, thanks for watching.